La Matapédia est considérée comme l'une des meilleures rivières à saumon du Québec. Même dans les meilleures conditions, le succès de la pêche au saumon est loin d'être assuré. C'est pourquoi plusieurs pêcheurs font appel à un guide qui connaît les fosses à saumon d'une rivière donnée. Il existe des mauvais guides, des bons guides, des guides exceptionnels, et puis il y a Richard. Richard Adams est peut-être le plus célèbre des guides de pêcheurs de saumon au monde. Il travaille sur la rivière Matapédia depuis environ 60 ans, aidant des pêcheurs de tous les coins du monde à capturer le roi des poissons, le saumon de l'Atlantique. Aussi bien connu pour son esprit vif et pétillant que pour son habileté, Richard guide des centaines de pêcheurs à tous les ans. Même l'ancien président des États-Unis, Jimmy Carter, a pêché avec Richard à la fosse Milnicake. Les pêcheurs qui ont la chance d'obtenir un droit d'accès dans le secteur de Glenema rêvent d'obtenir les services de Richard Adams pour l'une des fosses les plus réputées, la fosse Richard. Voici l'histoire de deux pêcheurs qui ont eu la veine de pêcher avec Richard à la fosse Richard. La rivière Matapédia est située dans la péninsule gaspésienne du Québec et rejoint la rivière Restigouche dans la ville de Matapédia. Au cœur même de la Gaspésie se trouve le village pittoresque de Cozapscal. Situé à quelques 60 km de Matapédia, le village accueille les amateurs de pêche depuis le début du 18e siècle. C'est d'ailleurs ici, à la fosse Les Fourches, en 1879, que la princesse Louise captura un saumon de 40 livres. Au milieu du village, on aperçoit une énorme sculpture dédiée, bien sûr, au roi des poissons.
On the monument, talking about the king of the river.
Pour beaucoup de gens, le véritable roi de la rivière est Richard Adams lui-même. On le voit ici devant la gravure sur pierre qui le représente et qui décore l'entrée du chalet de l'ancien club de pêche Matamadja. La Matapédia mérite sa réputation comme une des meilleures rivières à saumon du Québec et même du monde. Sur le secteur Glenema, l'accès est limité à 10 pêcheurs. Ils obtiennent leur réservation au moyen d'une loterie téléphonique. Les heureux gagnants peuvent alors y pêcher en compagnie de l'un des guides expérimentés de la CEPAC. Les gagnants rêvent tous d'aller pêcher à la fosse Richard. Aujourd'hui, le pêcheur que Richard accompagnera est Michel Saint-Cyr de Québec.
That's the one we tried.
Yeah, you had a... Because Richard's pool, you know, you got to give them the best.
Au cours de la saison de pêche, l'on prend à tous les ans plus de 1000 saumons adultes. Les chances de prendre un poisson de plus de 20 livres sont excellentes et quelques poissons de près de 40 livres sont capturés à tous les ans.
Go a little further, Michelle. It's pretty slack right here. See, we've been wading around. When we're lucky enough to hook them up here, sometimes we save them up here, you know. When they're way down on the lip, well, they're harder to save, but they go down, and but as long as we hook on them... Sometimes they go right down below, and I seen us lose two one morning. Went right down about 50 feet from the net, you know what I mean? I seen us one time here lose one on the wet fly, one on the dry fly. We had lunch and went up to Edgar's, and we fished there and we got one. That was the days when there was two. And we come back here and we took one, and his chum come right after him when we got one and we had a lunch on the beach. Fellow had one a bag and some food right there. The other fellow took two with blackers, 12 pounds, 12, 14 pounds. 5 fish that day out of here. Lost 2 and got 3. He's got to have a good name or it wouldn't be that good.
Richard Nelson Adams est né en 1910 à Sellarsville, non loin de la Fosse Richard. Déjà à l'âge de 12 ans, il accompagnait des pêcheurs sur la Restigouche comme apprenti guide avec son père.
They called Kings after Richard's name, and Richard Lionheart and many things. So a river as nice as the Mattapitty should have a name called Richard. I was the first fellow I ever guided here that took a salmon for a salmon. They never came here at all before my time. I used to come down a couple of times. The third time I carried that girl across from my back, this fellow's wife, and we called her she called her Richard's boat, 16-pound salmon. There was an old fellow I guided here one time. He said, I wouldn't give this pool for a milk cake.
Is that right?
An old fellow, I never forget his name. He had a big Cadillac and just white shoes on. I had to bring him down here with a canoe. We got a salmon one night. He raised one and picked one and lost one and got one. And he said, Richard, I'd just like to sit in the boat for a little while. That's the fellow said to me, he said, Richard, where do you stay? I said, I stay at the camp at Batch. He said, by God, Richard, he said, I'm tired of eating at hotels and restaurants. I'd like to bring up some grub, he said, and have my dinner with you. I said, sure. He brought up a big can of beans and a bun of bread, and I gave him 6 meals off it. But eat some of mine. 3 or 4 years ago, there was 4 sports arrived, so I was getting one of them. And I went over to the car and picked up his rod and hooked the rod up and reel and pulling out the line. And good enough outfit. So anyway, he said to me, he said, you got any flies? And I said, yes. I said, I got a couple of flies down at the camp. I was going to get a couple of flies. I started down at the camp. He's saying, oh, do you got any leaders? This is a story I like to tell because it's, you know what I mean, it's a good story to tell these fellows that's fancy that use small little leaders and small little flies and special knot. Anyway, I said to myself, Bride, that gee, he's got no flies, no leader, that better yoke him up pretty strong. So I picked up 2 or 3 flies, green honor, black ghost, maybe Dusty Miller, or what, a 1-0 or 1 and 1-0. And I looked for a leader. I only had 30-pound test leader. Well, you know, 30-pound test it'll hold a calf. So I come up and tied it on. We went fishing without bragging because there's lots of days that we don't get any fish. But I guided him 4 days and he went home with 4 salmon. We never changed the leader, never changed the same fly. So that was something. It makes a story, eh? Hey, put that story on the wall or in the Bible. Fisherman's Bible. Yeah. He's going to go down, I think. Is he taking out the line?
Yeah.
He's still going?
No, just a bit.
Yeah, but I think he's down a long ways.
Stays on now.
Okay. You can read him a little bit. But if he goes, let him go down. As you would walk down a little bit here when you're reeling. Oh, he's...
Sous l'œil attentif de Richard, Michel a ferré l'un des puissants saumons de la Matapédia qui repart aussitôt vers les rapides bouillonnants de l'aval de la fosse.
Come this way then. Come on down. He's going. Don't hold him. Walk fast. Walk fast. Walk fast.
Richard met toute son expérience au service de son client pour s'assurer que celui-ci réussisse à prendre le saumon.
Come on, walk, run. Real fast, real fast. Is he in the basin here? Hey? Gone? No, you got him on yet. Come on down a little bit, come on down. Real fast. Real, come on down here, real fast. Oh, he's way down. He's way down below. Go on down. Go on down. You gotta go over there. Just easy now. You rail them. Yeah, but okay. Stay here for a while. Stay here. You want to be able to just stand on the rock and don't hold it too tight. I don't think I can get across there. Just don't hold them too tight. Just leave it slack. Maybe you can try and cross over.
Le poisson coupe rapidement vers l'autre bord de la rivière. Et sans hésitation, Richard s'avance dans le courant vif. Se rendant compte que l'eau est trop profonde pour qu'il puisse traverser tout seul la rivière, il demande l'aide de l'un des caméramans.
Don't hold them too tight. Bob, I wonder if we could go and get the boat, maybe. Jesus Christ. That's too bad, eh?
Le saumon descend les rapides et Richard décide de traverser la rivière avec l'aide de Bob. À deux, ils réussissent à traverser les eaux tumultueuses.
Looks like it gets deep again.
No, not too bad. Not too bad. Be great if we can save the fish, eh? Okay, let me go now. Come on out. Hey.
Richard ramène la ligne, mais seulement pour y trouver un hameçon nu. Le poisson s'est échappé.
Make you cry, eh?
Il serait difficile de dire qui est le plus désolé, le pêcheur ou Richard. Mais si Richard est déçu, c'est pour son client. Il n'est jamais vraiment désolé lorsqu'un saumon réussit à reprendre sa liberté.
It's something like getting your picture taken when you haven't got your good shirt on, losing the fish, eh? What do you got in that, gin? No?
No. Do you want to take gin?
No, no, we're not supposed to drink from that.
Because I got
Yeah.
some in my bag. There's only straight coffee.
Well, we were lucky to get across there. We've done a good job. I don't think I could have made it without you, Bob. You know, two fellers, eh? One fella, the water's deep, we can hold the other fella. That's deep there, that little channel. Everything changed quite a bit from the old days, eh? The guy would drink a little muddy water, and the sport would drink black tea. The coffee, they didn't bring it out on the river. The scent of it was too strong for the salmon. Well, your lady's a rugged girl, eh? Waded the river there?
Yeah, she did good.
I suppose she can swim like a duck, too?
Probably.
Yeah. Of course, there's no use to start swimming on the beach.
No.
I guess Lord Mount Stephen brought it in his pack sack when he came here over 100 years ago. Look at that handle. Oh, yeah. I carry that when I'm guiding the women if they happen to fall out of the boat. Main thing is to get the salmon's head in, the rest of it will fall her. Well, I've had the time I was guiding Mrs. Wakeoff. I took a salmon, she took a salmon 36 pound. Dick Hinman won 40 pound. Max Morris from Montreal, you know him, a 39er. A young fella out of this boat, a 38. But I never guided for that many salmon over 35 pounds. Maybe a dozen or, you know. I was guiding this lady one time, and we got a fair-sized salmon, and she said, Richard, how much does it weigh? I said, about 15 pounds, 15. My, she said, Richard weighs more than that. I said, dear, I said, what do you want him to weigh? It's easy to give a woman 5 pounds on a salmon. If you're guiding an old for 3 or 4 days and you don't get a glass of gin out of him, you won't put any on, you take maybe a pound off.
Revitalisé par une bonne tasse de café et quelques-unes des histoires incroyables de Richard, Michel retourne à la rivière.
to check the scale on that rod that I set it up there from. I figure that scale on that line would take about 1.5 pounds to pull it out. Your tackle should be set up for 2 pounds on scale. I was guiding this old fellow one time, and he had a little rod, and he had lost a couple of fish, no break at all, and didn't put any up. Oh, he said, look, it's bent. I said, a sea trout would bend that rod like that. One time I was there with Henry Siegel the morning that he lost a 35-pounder, got a 25 and a 15, and the 15-pound he had it shoved up on the bobbin reel, and it was 3 pounds on the bobbin reel. The 15-pound Sam would come back and take a run to pull the line out. He couldn't take it out, but that was a little high. But 2 pounds is just about right. And I'd guess this fellow's line is about 2 pounds there, that clutch. So I was at a party one place in the midwinter, and I had no brush on my hat, and I had a nice salmon fly in it. I forget what it was. Maybe Silver Doctor is one of my favorites. And somebody had the gall to say, where'd you get the fly? And I said, I took it when the sport was changing his glasses. By gee, I guided one of the fellows at the party the next summer. He never let me near his box. No. If they said change flies, and he said, what kind do you want and what size? Well, it was saving my sight, too, to look at the kind of fly and the size, so he'd pass it to me. I tied it on. He'd have his hand out with him. He'd have one hand out giving me the other one, and the other hand out asking for the other one. Yes, he's a good fisherman, that fellow, boys. Yeah? Good fisherman. Rugged, eh? Putting that line all morning. Well, one thing about this pool, you don't have to make mistakes to lose them, because you can lose them awful easy, eh? You know. A little.
Mais les lancers de Michel ne réussissent pas à faire lever d'autres saumons et les deux pêcheurs décident de faire une pause pour le dîner. Durant ses moments libres, Richard visite souvent le centre Matamadja. Il n'y a pas si longtemps, ce club de pêche contrôlait presque toute la rivière. Mais le club fut dissous au début des années 1970, lorsque le gouvernement du Québec décida de rendre les rivières à saumon plus facilement accessibles. À son apogée, le club employait beaucoup de résidents du village comme cuisiniers, guides et gardiens de rivière. Aujourd'hui, les bâtiments du club sont classés comme biens culturels et ils sont exploités en tant que centre d'interprétation pour présenter aux visiteurs de cette région de la Gaspésie un petit aperçu de l'importance historique de la pêche sportive du saumon. Ces gens auront une raison additionnelle pour ne jamais oublier leur visite au centre. Richard est là pour leur raconter quelques histoires sur l'époque où il était guide au club et que sa grand-mère lui faisait la cuisine pour les invités. La renommée de Richard est telle que des citoyens de la vallée de la Matapédia, intéressés à la conservation, ont décidé de former la Fondation Richard Adams. Cette fondation est affiliée à la Fédération du saumon de l'Atlantique qui travaille à préserver et à restaurer les populations de saumon de l'Atlantique dans l'est de l'Amérique du Nord. Richard Adams, évidemment, est le président honoraire de la Fondation. Au printemps dernier, la Fondation était impliquée dans 2 programmes pour l'amélioration de la situation du saumon dans la Matapédia et Richard a été interviewé pour la télévision.
C'est un crime pour voir une belle rivière comme ça, puis pas de saumon dedans.
Alors, Richard, justement, cet ensemencement de 13 000 saumoneaux, pour vous, c'est tout de même l'aboutissement de souhaits que vous aviez exprimés depuis de nombreuses années.
Oui. Des fois, j'ai prié pour le gouvernement au CAPAC, au Chouquin, de faire ça dans la rivière Matapédia.
Alors, le geste que la Société des établissements plein air a posé cet après-midi est un geste heureux pour vous de voir de...
C'est cousin avec Père Noël.
La CEPAC a été formée en 1984. Il s'agit d'une société d'État. Sa mission est de développer et de voir aux opérations d'une vaste gamme d'établissements touristiques dans le domaine du plein air et de la récréation. Cela implique notamment la gérance de plusieurs rivières à saumon, dont la Sainte-Anne, la Saint-Jean, la Patapédia et la Matapédia, toutes situées dans la péninsule gaspésienne.
Fini la période des inquiétudes et nous allons aujourd'hui procéder.
Au printemps de 1989, Langevin Gagnon, vice-président de la CEPAC, a annoncé que la société, en collaboration avec la Fondation Richard Adams, allait libérer 13 000 jeunes saumons de 18 mois à la Fosse les Fourches. Plus de 300 enfants des écoles primaires de Fosse-Abscal ont pu être témoins de cette initiative excitante qui sera répétée au cours des années à venir et dont le but est d'augmenter les remontées de saumon dans la Matapédia. Et voici Richard qui libère les premiers des 13 000 poissons frétillants qui, lorsqu'ils auront terminé leur migration, retourneront peut-être à la Matapédia sous forme de saumon de 10, 20, 30 ou même 40 livres. Ce 24 mai était aussi l'occasion pour la CEPAC de faire la démonstration de la pose d'un bloc anti-filet. Depuis 1988, la CEPAC a placé plus de 100 de ces blocs de béton, chacun pesant presque 1000 livres dans les fosses de la Matapédia. Armés de crochets de 10 pouces, ces blocs accrochent les filets des braconniers et ceci, combiné à la surveillance continue des fosses principales, a fait augmenter de façon substantielle le nombre de poissons qui restent frayés dans la rivière à la fin de la saison. La conception de ces blocs a été perfectionnée par les employés de la CEPAC. Le design des blocs anti-filets date de plus de 20 ans et fut l'œuvre de citoyens de la région, dont Jean-Paul Dubé, auteur et sculpteur gaspésien de renom. L'on voit ici son concept original, tiré de son livre classique « Sauvons notre saumon ». En plus de ses talents d'auteur, il est reconnu pour ses saumons sculptés à la main qui reçoivent beaucoup de louanges pour leur allure réaliste et leurs détails. Tout en admirant la réplique impressionnante d'un saumon matapédien de 41 livres qu'il a sculpté au cours de l'hiver dernier, nous lui avons demandé de nous dire quelques mots sur son meilleur ami, Richard Adams.
So tell us a little bit about Richard Adams. And
A little bit.
a little bit.
Well, he's such an unusual character, right? You could talk about him all day.
Mm-hmm.
He really represents the old type of dedicated guides but he's so devoted to that, to the salmon and to his job that he makes it a pleasant trip for his customers. He likes to come back with his favorite subject there, les petites femmes. But you know, even at his age, I wouldn't risk a bet there that it's all talk either.
La demeure de Richard, durant la saison de pêche au saumon, est un petit chalet, situé sur la rive de la rivière qu'il affectionne. Lorsqu'il discute du temps jadis, après le dîner, son amour pour les saumons et pour le sport de la pêche à la ligne est on ne peut plus évident.
Years ago, the fellows used to make the poles, well, they worked at it, but they weren't making many poles with little planes shoved up against there. So I said to the boss that the fellow was working around here, I said, why don't you make a bench? Well, he said, a bench, what's that? Well, I said, to make poles. Well, he said, you know about it, why did you make one? Well, I said, I'm not a carpenter, but Godias Lacoste, another guide, he's a carpenter. And a smart fellow too, good guide, carpenter, jobber, name it. So we had some old signs and we made this bench. So then you go up into the woods, your axe, and you cut a couple of poles. Years ago, a great socket pole is a black spruce, but this is white spruce or spruce. So you go up in the woods and you cut a dozen poles and you come down and cut it up on this, square it off, and then you take a draw knife and take the bark off. And then you use a plane after this. So when the pole is made, it looks like something like this, which is a good pole. I've had this pole maybe for 10 years. When you make the pole, this is the socket, what they call, that's why they call it a socket pole. Years ago, I've guided a lot and had no socket, just used the pole. And when you're poling up along a pool like salmon hole where the salmon are close to the shore, you don't put this down to make any noise. You upend your pole and just pole with the wood. But they don't do any much more of that. And a good length for a pole is 10 feet and a half, 11 feet. Of course, the driving boat, you use a longer pole. And years ago in 1934, I went up from the headwaters of the Matapidia. And there were some big rugged men, and they had poles the size of your arm. I had a pole not much bigger than that. He said, gee, he said, your pole's not very big. I said, I'm not very strong either. Years ago, they used the gas. They had a pole about this long, and the idea is you could use it about this long, maybe half of it. But when the sport brings the salmon in here and the wind is blowing, blows your canoe towards the shore, you just take the opposite end and you shove out your canoe. And when you gaff a salmon, you know pretty well you can gaff a salmon when you can't net him, because when he's down in the water, you know where the guy, the leader is, and if the salmon's 3 feet long, you go back, pretty well on back, and whenever you drop and touch the fish, you pull him towards you. And the old gasket canoes, I had a gasket canoe that I used for 25 years, I pull him right up beside against the boat, so he can't get off. But if you gaff a salmon close to the head, he goes right in the air because the motor's in the water. But when you gaff him way back, you lift the tail out of the water so there's no motor, which is very important if you know, to have a little idea. And after you do it long enough, you're bound to be right. But olden days, the fellows had Bonhoff reels and big bamboo rods. They lift the head of a salmon out of the water. But today, with this little fancy stuff, light leaders and small rods, they don't lift the salmon his head very far out of the water. They may just lift him up a little bit.
Mais ce que Richard aime faire le plus, c'est guider. Et surtout lorsqu'il guide un vieil ami à la Fosse Richard. Le Montréalais, Mac Morrison, que Richard appelle par le petit nom de Max, a souvent pêché avec Richard et a pris l'un de ses plus gros poissons, un saumon de 30 livres, avec l'homme qu'il appelle le roi des guides. Pêcheur d'expérience, Mac connaît bien la fosse et lance une ligne qui va droit au but. C'est la fin de juillet et la rivière est à son débit estival. Très rapidement, un poisson s'attaque sauvagement à sa mouche. Le saumon, un spécimen, bondit hors de l'eau dans un effort pour se débarrasser de la mouche.
No, he's a big fish, too. A big fish. Everything's in our favor so far, because he's playing them there if he stays there. He made 2 leaps there that were dandies.
Le poisson tient son bout, tout comme le pêcheur. Et après un certain moment, le saumon, dans un éclair d'argent, file dans les rapides.
They're going to have a hard time to walk down a little bit, Matt. No, he's a big fish, too. A big fish. Walk around.
Avec une énergie que dément son âge, Richard saute de rocher en rocher, gardant toujours un œil sur sa prise il s'assure encore et encore que la ligne de Mac ne touche pas au rocher. Donc,
Watch your step now. Take it easy, Max. Take it easy. Get over there. Take it easy now. Easy, okay, you're safe there now.
le puissant saumon remonte la rivière, puis se dirige vers le cours d'eau situé plus en arrière, où aucun pêcheur ne peut le suivre, et où il pourra presque certainement se libérer de l'hameçon gênant.
Keep a pretty good strain on him. You make him in here, see? Okay. Just reel him. Hold him with all you can, best you can. Bring him in. You make him in here after a while. He's coming. Okay, Max. Okay, go around. Come on over this way. He's coming back? Okay. Come this way a little, you got a chance to put him in this basin. But I don't think he's gonna, I'm glad he's over here anyway, as long as you... Yes, sir. It's okay.
Now.
He's not foul.
Yeah, if you get up here, Max, you can keep that one.
Ce n'est plus maintenant qu'une question de résistance et Richard essaie d'amener Mac à attirer le poisson plus près de lui. 40 minutes après avoir ferré le saumon, Mac montre des signes de fatigue. Richard est encore une fois obligé de tenir la ligne éloignée des rochers. Puis, subitement, la bataille est terminée. Nous entendons le fameux cri de la Matapédia, si typique de Richard, et qui accompagne la capture de chaque poisson qu'il aide à prendre. Tout ce qu'il reste à faire au guide est de s'amener avec son client et la prise sur la rive de la rivière, opération devenue délicate à la fin d'une longue bataille épuisante.
Okay, I'm fine up this one. You back up. Now back up. Careful. Get solid and then I'll... Okay.
Ainsi, Mac a vaincu son saumon. Mais il est le premier à admettre que, sans l'aide de Richard, le poisson aurait certainement eu le meilleur.
Well, I wouldn't mind doing that every day for a week. Well, we can always...
Always put it on to make Richard happy. We'll have to catch a fish. I hope you got lots of film in that thing because he'd go on for hours.
Just start. Well, they don't make one more Richard.
Comme il est regrettable que l'on ne fasse plus d'autres guides comme Richard.